Aloha everybody, and welcome back to episode number 3 of Look at That There. As you see, we've got a new little graphic here. I've been doing some graphic experimentation and trying to create some new logos and different little things, and I got some ideas. We'll be working on that later. You'll probably see more of this in Look at That There, but tonight we have a special episode of Look at That There for you. And this actually is a courtesy of the the Hawaii Department Land of Natural Resources, and a video that I was able to obtain from their press releases. So basically we're going to take a sightseeing tour down the Puna Coastline, starting at the very northern tip of the lava flows, and via helicopter we are going to fly down the entire coastline all the way down to Pohoiki and the boat ramp. So if everybody would please board the aircraft now, pick a seat, fasten your safety restraints, and we will prepare for takeoff. Welcome aboard everybody. We're going to start our aerial tour over the new Puna Coastline all the way down to Pohoiki, starting just north of Champagne Ponds and the lighthouse. This area we're looking at here, I've actually been out on with the ATV. Traveling. I believe I've shown a few clips of my travels down this way. Some of it is over very rough however, as you can see, there are paths that have been cut and worn in over time, but then we get to certain areas that are just completely blanketed with black sand, which is really fun, as we see right here in this one. That is the main black sand body area. It's normally where I go and hang out, play in the sand with the ATV a little bit, then sit, have lunch, and then start the trip back. I think it takes probably about 30 minutes to go from the lighthouse to there on the ATV. And as we can see up there at the top center of the image, the lighthouse in general, the road going up into the top of the image, that is the access road at Four Corners, which is right now that intersection intersection of 132 and 137 is actually covered with lava, so we can't even get to the lighthouse right now. And that's pretty much the start of the trail. Now, to the left of the lighthouse, you see there are other roads, and this was the main access for the public to Champagne Ponds and that general area, which is actually back to the left, right there where the blacker colored lava is. And if you saw there in the right, that was actually a Kapoho crater. Now, all this that we've been looking at since we got up to the lighthouse area is the new coastline. We used to be able to go out here. There was all kinds of little roads and paths that over time people had built and things of that nature, going down the coastline and all the way up to Champagne Ponds, which is somewhere up in there. Because this little point that's coming out, this is the new point on the coast, which used to be Kapoho Bay, which of course all filled in. And now we're on pretty much looking like we're getting out of the south side of that area, and we'll travel all the way down to Pohoiki and the boat ramp, which really isn't that far. And it's just amazing. And as you've been seeing as we've been going down the coastline, all these little tiny black sand beaches, some bigger, some smaller, which is absolutely amazing. We have so many black sand beaches now here on the Puna Coast, where we pretty much had one or two that was actually accessible. I know Kahena was a black sand beach, and it was accessible, even though the water was a little rough down there sometimes and kind of steep off the shore. But from what I've been told about that area, black sands filled it in there too, and actually made the beach bigger and nicer. So yay for that. But I'm sure that at some point in the future, some of our local good old boys will come through here and cut some roads in. I imagine there's going to be some new amazing fishing spots all up and down the coastline now, and the Puna is basically full of people that love to fish. Some people, it's part of their life, and it's necessary in order for them and their families to eat, which is pretty cool. And I've actually had some fresh fish pretty much caught right out of the ocean straight to my table, and I tell you, I'm not a big fish person, but this stuff was actually very, very good, and it's amazing. So going on down, we're almost to Pohoiki now. Somewhere in here, I believe, is Alahanui Park, where the warm spring was. I've often wondered throughout all this, after that area was taken out, if that warm spring will ever find its way back up to the surface again, and if it does, how long would that take? It's going to be interesting to watch the continuing development of this area, because some of these black sand beaches, I suspect, will probably eventually be washed away, because there is the longshore current. And that's what's happening at Pohoiki, which we are now approaching to the left of the screen. That longshore current's been pulling all this sand down and depositing it in areas that have less wave energy. And since Pohoiki Bay area here that we're looking at did have less wave energy, that's one of the reasons why it was chosen as a boat ramp, I believe. Could be wrong about that, but all this sand has been deposited, and we've got this nice crescent long black sand beach. It's a little on the steep side, and I'm not sure how safe it will be to swim there, because I do know just outside the bay of the boat ramp, the water could be a little rough. Now we're going to land and take a closer look at the area, so please watch your step as you exit the aircraft. Alright, this is obviously the boat ramp looking down at the little pond that's now isolated by the Sandbar Beach. I'm not sure who this gentleman is. I'm not sure, meaning that I'm not sure if he's with DLNR or another agency, but he was here surveying the area, I believe, making assessments on, you know, what it would take to open up the boat ramp or whatever, you know, he was there to do. All right, everybody be quiet and follow me. We're going to follow him and see where he goes. Maybe we'll learn something. Okay, it looks like he's led us up onto the breakwater. This was there to protect the boat ramp from the ocean. And now it's a black sand beach. And speaking of black sand beaches, here is the new Pohoiki Black Sand Beach. This is just amazing. There's also been discussion about opening up the road from McKenzie to Pohoiki. There's bids being placed and things like that by the contractors. So hopefully we will have access to this. They say once all the bureaucracy and the paperwork and all that is done, the actual process of cutting in a road won't take very long at all. So hopefully maybe in the next 3 to 4 months we'll have access to the Pohoiki boat ramp and park here, which would be really cool. You know, I knew when the coastline was being, reformed and we were looking at all those images of that happening, I really knew or suspected that we would end up with something out of this. You know, through all the destruction, I knew there was creation being done as well. And we saw some things come and go, but this is what we've got. And it is spectacular. This beach is large, it's expansive, it's beautiful, it's got a wonderful backdrop with all the vegetation. So anyways, though, it's time for us to go, so if everyone would please follow me, we'll head back to our aircraft, get y'all boarded up, and we'll depart back to home base. And before we make our final departure from the Pohoiki area, one final look from the air. So everybody please say aloha to Pohoiki. And let me also take this moment to say thank you very much for joining me on this flight down the Puna Coast to Pohoiki. It was a great honor and an amazing joy to show you our new coastline. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to watch your head and mind your step as you exit our aircraft. And on your way out, please feel free to browse our gift shop. You can find all the links to our Smug Mug, Redbubble, Patreon account, and Twitter account located in the description of this video. If you would like to tip your guide for this adventure, then hit that thumbs up button now. That'll let him know that you really enjoyed your adventure, and it will encourage him to keep providing these to all of you. And if you haven't done so already, Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we have new adventures available for your enjoyment. And finally, thank you for joining us here at Doing Hawaii. We really appreciate you watching. You have an adventurous morning, afternoon, or evening. And keep looking at that there.